This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, late tonight, 10 p.m., not 10 a.m., 10 p.m., the Knicks take on the Phoenix Suns on the second game of their 7-game road trip. And, hey, no Chris Paul, no Devin Booker. Maybe the Knicks will have a chance, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I don't know. We'll see. This is the Game Day pregame show. Please make sure you go to thegameday.com to check out all of your most up-to-date sports content and betting odds. We got a full panel here today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get this thing popping. Andy in the building, Josh, Steph, and Big Bubba. Andy, what's popping, man?
Yo, what up, Sim? And the panel. Happy to be on. Happy to be safe. So it's a good day.
Yeah, no doubt, man. We're glad to see you. You know, with everything that's going on, we are glad to see you. Josh, what's up, man?
Salute, Sam. Salute, Steph, Andy, Bubba. Good to see you guys again. Always a pleasure. Tough game coming up. Of course, 7-game road trip. Not going to be kind to us as usual, and hopefully we can be able to turn it around. I just need a win in my life right now.
We need a win. The Knicks are, yeah.
The fan base is not with us on that.
I know. They're not with it.
They're not with us on that.
They're not with it. They'll be happy if the Knicks lose every single game for the rest of the season. Steph, what's going on?
I'm doing well. Shout out to you, Sam. Andy, I'm glad you're safe. Josh, who I haven't seen in a long time. Great show the other day.
Thank you.
And you're very welcome. And Isaiah, I was about to say Big Bubba, but Isaiah, appreciate you.
Call me what you want, Steph.
Okay, all right now. You know what? I'm looking forward to a win as well. I think it's going to be a tough game, even with those two out, right? We don't have a track record of playing against decimated teams. But I still want the Knicks to go out there. If we lose, we lose. But I definitely want them to go out and try to win. And to your point, real quick, I've been listening to different podcasts. Do you believe content creators, somebody was very upset that Tibbs is trying to win. They're like, oh my God, he's trying to win every game. Like, what is he doing? Like, I was like, wow. So, yeah, we might be in the minority wanting the Knicks to get a win.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I'm pretty sure we are in the minority, man. People, you know, at this point, people want the Knicks to try to get the highest draft position possible. You know what I mean? I want the Knicks to try to get a win. You gotta build. You gotta try to get a win. Isaiah, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Mr. Simeon Russell? What's going on, Steph? First and foremost, Andy, I'm truly happy and I'm glad to see you here. You good, man? Don't you worry. I was coming there, Andy. I was gonna come to Poland and get you out of there. Don't you worry. Nah, Josh, you know, shout out to you, man. We did a video, even though I couldn't stay too long, but that was a great video. I think it's your most viewed in history because I was there, but you know, who knows?
Not quite.
Who knows those numbers? But yeah, it's great, man. I'm mad I didn't get to see you, but I'm not mad, but I am mad because I went to the game in Philadelphia with my father and my other couple of family members. We got to see, you know, James Harden debut. It was great. Got to see him. Got to hang with my dad. We lost. There wasn't that many Knicks fans. We were getting heckled, but, you know, we stood there 10 toes down. My dad had a good time, so it was really great. Got to see RJ drop 30 in person, so that was truly great. I sent some pictures, so, you know, it was all good, man. We had a great time. And
got to shake hands with Leon Rose.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you know you wanted to say something about it, but you know, go ahead. Listen, you can talk about it.
I met the Godfather. You know, I didn't
Kiss
really get
his ring.
I had to kiss the ring. I said what up to Leon. Leon was like, "Hey, Isaiah." I was like, "How did you know my name?" He's like, "I watch MBK, man." I said, "Come on, man. I already know."
Right.
No, man. It was. I just said what up to him, man. He was pretty busy, but he was very nice. He said what up to all the Knicks fans in the section that we was at. So, cool dude.
So, ladies and gentlemen, long story short, don't be surprised when you hear him, reaping praises on every single thing that the front office does from here going forward. Since he met him one time.
Hey, listen, that's my best friend. That is my best friend now. Don't you worry. What's funny though? Something I did want to tell him about MBK, but again, he was busy. So next time, though. But man, let's get the show popping, man. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, we might as well go ahead and start with you. What's your thoughts on tonight's game?
Oh, I can't.
He has a client. So we'll go to Andy. Andy, what's your thoughts on tonight's game?
It's gonna be hard to follow up, Isaiah, man. Yasim, listen. It's like Josh said, we need a win. I'm glad it's a Friday night game. I hope we start the weekend on the good note. At least last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, we didn't start probably. We didn't get a W on a weekend. So I really hope that finally we get at listen. If fans want to tank, whatever. But get us at least one win so we can breathe for a couple of days. Listen,
right.
I'm watching games and I'm like looking more at the phone, trying to, cuss them out and stuff like that. And I was like, I got to be concentrated on the game. And one win would, get me breathing room for a couple of games, at least couple of games. I would be more, concentrated on that than just watching losing effort round and round and round again. So and finally it has to come, Sim. I don't believe that we're not going to win a game this season. So listen,
it has to come somewhere.
It has to come sooner or later. I hope it's going to be sooner.
But see, to me, by intentionally losing, you don't learn anything about your players.
Of course.
Even if you're saying, I'm trying to, I'm going to play the young guys, right? Still, intentionally losing is something totally different.
Right.
You don't learn anything about the young guys.
Yeah.
Like, you learn about your players through competition, through real competition, not just throwing some guys out there, we're just going to run up and down the floor. You learn about your players. If you want to learn about Deuce McBride, if you want to learn about Jericho Sims, Cam Reddish, you've got to have those guys in heated competition, real competition. That's how you find out what they really have. Because you can throw a bunch of guys out there you can throw a bunch of guys out there and play pickup. A lot of people can look real good in pickup. And when you just throwing guys out there to do anything, you know what I mean? And that doesn't mean the opposing team is going to be doing just anything, but you gotta be in real competition in order to find out what the guys got. You know what I mean? So if you want to learn more about this team, you got to go out there and compete hard. Try to win games.
Tim, listen, I was thinking about this because we had major leads in some of the last, games that we lost, right? Man, if we're going to have like 3 games that we're going to win till the end of the season, if we're going to go back to those games, it might look like a tanking job. It really might look like a tanking job, Sim. And I know that it doesn't look it maybe at this point still, but for some people it's definitely tanking, right? But listen, we had a 28-point lead, a 23-point lead, 21-point lead.
Yeah,
I know that this in the current NBA you can lose leads like that, but so many games in a row. Listen, if we're going to be watching these games in August or July again, and we're going to be like, those guys were tanking back then.
I mean, when you look at it from, like you said, August or July, you can look at it that way, but it could just be the signs of a team that cannot close a game out. And opposing teams know, when you have a team that will give you the lead back, the opposing team says, in the huddle, they're like, listen, keep playing because they'll fold. Keep playing. They will fold. And, teams believe it, go out and continue to play. And the Knicks eventually fold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Josh, what's your thoughts on tonight's game?
Well, Sam, even though I want us to get a win, I still don't see it happening despite them not having Booker or Chris Paul. Phoenix is probably the most complete team in the NBA. They have the best record in the NBA, and I know it's largely due to those guys. But if you just look in the offensive categories and the defensive categories, points per game, they're top 10. Assists, they're top 10. Field goal percentage, they're top 10. 3-point percentage, they're top 10. Defensive field goal percentage, they're top 10. Defensive 3-point percentage, they're top 10. Rebounding, top 10. Steals, top 10.
Yeah.
This is the most complete team in the NBA, point blank. And they're playing some great basketball right now. Despite not having their guys, I fully expect them to win this ball game tonight. And for all those who want the Knicks to tank, listen, tanking guarantees you nothing. We've seen this movie over and over again. 75 to 80% of the guys who were in the All-Star game were outside the top 5. 50% were late first-round picks and second-round picks or undrafted. So, you just got to draft the right guy. The draft is a crapshoot. No matter where you fall, you just got to be able to draft the right guy and develop the right guy. So this whole thing about tanking, I just don't understand, and I'm not on board with it. Hopefully the Knicks are trying to win ball games. It's going to be a tough matchup, but I want them to try to win this ball game and go out with a fight.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt.
And I think, okay, go ahead, Isaiah.
Oh, no, did you already go, Steph?
But it's okay.
Here you go.
And I think they are. I mean, I think that's the fan base. It's hard for me to believe that the coaching staff and the players are not going out each and every game trying to win, especially a coach who knows that his job is going to be judged on wins and losses. And it's kind of hard to ask him not to win. I mean, I agree with Josh. I think that, the Knicks will lose tonight. And I think having those big leads is an indication of just how the type of team we could be if we were able to close. So we kind of have the talent on the team for the most part, but we're just not there yet. And Phoenix is complete, and as far as, winning or losing on purpose, you got to create championship habits before you even have the championship talent. And that comes by how you approach the game in and game out, how you play game in and game out. That's what the good organizations do. And if the Knicks are trying to turn the corner on how we've operated in the past, that has to be part of it.
Yeah. See, I agree with that 100%. That's what parents and parents always told kids and still tell kids, dress for the role that you want. Dress for the position that you want. You know what I mean? I think I failed in that aspect because I hated wearing a suit. So I guess what I do now is probably perfect for me. You know what I mean? What I do now is probably perfect for me. But yeah, you got to practice championship habits. You know what I mean? And that's how you become a champion. You don't become a champion and then start practicing championship habits. You practice championship habits, then you become a champion whenever that time is.
Sam,
so.
My mom sent everybody home from my party because I didn't want to wear a dress. So. I think I was 8 years old.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. Big Bubble, go ahead, man.
Yeah. Oh, God. I thought I'd be crying. Kev be crying, too. Jesus Christ. No, so I do agree with Josh, and I do agree with everything what everybody's saying. This team is just, I don't even think people complain about tanking. We're doing it right now, and we're trying. Right. I mean, again, it's just kind of sad thing to say, but I read the article today, man, that since the Knicks were 22 and 21, we have been literally 3-16 since. We basically won a game a month. That sounds crazy.
Wow.
That we've literally won a game almost a month, basically.
Oh, you mean in 2022?
Yeah, in 2022, we've won a game a month, basically. We're taking, and we're trying.
I think tanking is something. It's something different than.
Well, yeah,
the definition is
and losing
something else.
Different.
Yeah. Well, I think we're trying to win, but we're just not a good team. We're just no cohesiveness. Cohesiveness. Oh God! I know. I'll talk about Cocoa Puffs. I don't know what I'm talking about. No, but we just don't have no camaraderie. I'm gonna start talking. No, we just don't have.
I don't know what that client did.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with that client that he just worked with, it
Yo,
confused him.
Bring
Plain
in
and done.
Captain because this ain't gonna end well, man.
Eddie, you know what Sid's been doing lately? I don't like it. He's been pinning moments in the video. He been posting them. And I swear to God, do not do this to this one. Don't. I just couldn't talk for a second. No, but no, we're just not a good team, man. We're just not a good team. Just. You know what's going to be funny, and Sim's going to like this. This is going to be the Alfred Payton revenge game. Alfred Payton
is going to play tonight.
Yo,
Oh, no, he's
touches
gonna-
the floor. That's going to be a win for the Suns already, man.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Playing
Hold
tonight.
on. Let me tell you something. The Knicks season has gone so bad that this will be one of the icings on the cake. Alfred Payton is going to come in and contribute. And then Sim gonna come.
That would be funny.
Sim will come with the biggest smile in the world. Sim and Josh will come here with the biggest smiles in the world, and say, "I told you so." But for the first 10 minutes, they're gonna talk about no. But no, this team, man, it's unfortunate. It just what's going on with them. Like I said, it's very disappointing, and it would be nice to get a win. It really would. Even though I'm one of those people that. I want Jaden Ivey. I want to get a top Sun pick, but still, you still got to win. You still got to move forward in certain things. Because listen, man, you got some of these young guys in here, man. You just can't. You can't. If we're gonna move with some of these young guys, they got to learn how to win. That's the most important thing. Is when you have these young guys, you have to learn. You got to show them that the work they're putting in can produce wins. Because other than that, they're gonna just be on cruise control. The last 10 games, last 15 games, and we're going to see some pretty ugly basketball versus the basketball that we want to see, where if they're putting the work in and they're producing and it's showing on the court through wins.
Right.
So
and not only that, there's been plenty of times throughout the history of basketball, NBA basketball, where the last 20 games of the season, a team plays well and then it carries over to the next season.
I agree with you.
So you never know when something is going to click, when something's going to happen. So that's why you got to keep playing. Let me get to the injury report. All right. The Knicks official injury report for today: Quentin Grimes is out. Derrick Rose had surgery on his right ankle. Right, so he's in recovery. And then Kemba Walker, of course, is not with the team. For the Phoenix Suns, Devin Booker, he's out due to COVID, health and safety protocol. And then Chris Paul, he's out with a right thumb fracture. All right, so, their two main guards are not playing tonight. And we'll see if the Knicks are going to be able to take advantage of the Phoenix Suns injuries. It's hard to, I don't know. It's hard to say. The Knicks have a hard time taking advantage of things. Projected starting lineups for the Knicks: Alec Burks, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson. And for the Phoenix Suns, you got Cameron Payne, Landry Shamet, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton. All right. And, the matchups, I think, are pretty much going to remain how they are. All right, but we'll break it down and we'll talk about it. Cornerstone, what's going on, man?
Hey, fellas, and the Queen. Salute to the chat. Salute to y'all. It's been a while. I heard everyone's comments. Isaiah, I hope you had a great time at the game. My thing, I hope we lose every game, not for the tanking thing, but to get Tibbs the F out of here. And that's all I'm going to say.
You ain't got to lose every game to get that, though, Kev.
Oh, yes, we do.
Just fire him.
Oh, yes, we do. Absolutely.
Kev, they have grounds to fire him right now. We don't have to lose every game in order for that to happen.
I was so much of the optimistic of this team, even when we won 17 games. I was always that one that says, well, we're going to try and win this one. I'm not going to bail on them. This team right here, this year gave me false hope. And when it gave me real false hope? The second loss to Orlando. That's when this team gave me false hope. At home, both times.
All right.
First time I gave him a mulligan. Second time, no.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no,
Kev.
not at all.
But
And go ahead, Steph.
I mean, as far as grounds to fire Tibbs.
I want him
Tibbs
gone.
is not doing anything differently than he's done last season. It's just not working. So if that's the case, you had grounds to
But see,
fire
here's the
him
problem.
last year.
Yeah, here's the problem. We always complain that, well, at least for this year, the narrative that he doesn't play the young guys. Last
But
year,
I'm
he
not
That was the
complaining
narrative.
about that.
I mean,
He plays the young guys.
He plays the young guys, but the three that I wanted him to play, especially now.
I hear what you said, though,
But
Kev. You got to
this
hear what
is
you
the
said.
problem.
You just said it.
Who you want him
who
to
you
play.
wanted, right?
It's not about who we want him to play.
He
has to
played
play the
Grimes
guy.
out of necessity. He played Grimes.
But
out
he's
of
playing now, Kev. You
Okay,
can't complain.
but
He's
even-
playing.
but-
Okay,
when-
all right. So what about Sims now? He's playing him. You mean to tell me that
You
Nolan's
can- you can't complain.
and Taj
Hold on.
Gibson
So-
were
Kev,
better than
Kev,
I'm just saying.
But Kev,
I'm just
but you
saying.
can't. But Kev, here's the thing, right? Only play he's not playing right now, literally, is Deuce. And even and people and people know how I feel about Deuce. How I think he should play, but we can't complain about him playing the young guys right now because again, what's his name is playing. Sims is playing now.
Where everybody he played last year, he didn't even look this year to none of the rookies. All right, you're right. You're
We
right.
had a
I should
veteran
say-
team.
I should say-
I don't want to get into
I'm
this
wrong,
whole.
I'm wrong,
I don't
I'm
want to
wrong.
get into this
I'm
whole
wrong.
conversation because you've been through it a lot.
I'm
The only
wrong.
thing I'll say
I'm wrong.
is, just going back to that whole argument. Maybe the rookies didn't play, but you had 2 second-year players who were in the rotation, and
So
RJ
scratch
Barrett.
out-
Hold
so
up. And RJ Barrett is a 3rd-year player, and Mitchell Robinson is a 4th year. I mean, come on.
How many young players you got?
The guys that you didn't want to play may not have played, but you can't say that he didn't play young guys because he did. The guys
Okay.
that you didn't want to play didn't play, but he's not going by
But it's
what
still
you want.
ridiculous. It's
He's not
still
going by what you
ridiculous
want. He's
because
going by what
it's still
he
ridiculous.
thinks.
How can you use Alec Burks as a point guard?
We
How
get
can
that.
you do that?
We get that. We understand that. But
right.
change the narrative. Let's go on to some other stuff and talk about
All
these
right.
matchups.
Kev, you need to come back on the shows and be more. You get your
Yeah,
stuff off.
I'm just saying
No,
change.
I'm getting him off now.
I'm just saying change the narrative from he doesn't play the young guys because that's
Okay,
just not
he
true.
doesn't play the rookies. He doesn't play the rookies.
Okay.
He doesn't
But
play.
he
he
did-
played the
but-
rookies
well-
last year.
He played the rookies. He played quickly. He played. He played quickly and what's his name?
And
Obi
Obi.
last year. Why didn't
Okay.
he? Why was
But there's only but so much room on the team, Kev.
But
And
you-
listen,
you
you can look
Kev,
at
I'm gonna get you a Snickers, Kev. I'm gonna get you a Snickers.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can look at every team in the NBA. Hold on.
That's what I
hold on.
want. Okay.
Every team in the NBA, even a Detroit, the Orlando, look at the bottom of the bottom. There's 1 or 2 players, even on those teams, that are not playing. It happens on every team.
And to be fair, and hold on, Steph, to be even fair, if I'm not mistaken, didn't quickly make a first team all rookie.
Yep.
Yeah, he did.
No, come
Second
on,
team.
Kev.
Yeah.
Second.
So-
You can't complain
All right,
about
I'm
him not
wrong.
playing.
So, all right. Well, let's break
I'm-
down these
I'm
matchups.
wrong.
Co-host Kev, we're gonna break down these matchups.
Switch up, Kev. Switch up,
Well,
Kev. Let's go.
Well,
Keep your
I can't
co-hostness.
stand him, man.
Listen.
I can't stand him.
Yeah, keep your co-hostness together until we come around to you. All right.
Okay, understand.
I'm gonna start with Andy, Alec Burks, and Cameron Payne.
Oh Lord.
Cameron Payne as a backup point guard has more point guard, I would say, talent, efficiency, whatever you want to, any prop you want to say, better than Alec Burks at the point, playing the point guard position. We know that Tibbs doesn't use the point guard position as, basically the whole NBA does because he's running the offense through the best player on the court. But still, Alec Burks at the point guard position could be scratched. Basically, I'd rather see anyone else on the court, even Cam, even anyone else. And I think that lately we're seeing more point guard role duties run by RJ.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that still has a couple of games to season, and maybe then we're going to see a change in the lineup for the last 10-15 games. Maybe that's going to happen. Listen, Alec Burks is so streaky and basically inefficient last games that I'd rather see even quickly there, and not quickly as a point guard, just quickly as someone else like an offensive threat, because Burks ain't getting it done.
I feel sorry for him too. When you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
him out
because he's
there,
playing
I
out of
feel bad.
position.
Like,
So
put him in
yeah,
his position.
Right.
yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
kind of unfair for to play him at the point guard. Then again, Sim, listen, he played on so many teams. He played with Philly. He played with Utah. He played in several teams, several occasions, and he's gonna be one of those guys that's gonna bounce around the league, get his money, and him getting 30 couple of minutes, and on the next team. That on that kind of a stage, I think it's great for his career. But if he's ain't gonna be hitting shots and produce, that's gonna hurt him. So
Yeah. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, Steph. It makes it bad for Alec Burks because the
Yeah.
fans,
Yeah.
fans are going to be mad with Tom Thibodeau, but some are going to be mad with Alec Burks too. Like, he's just trash. He's just garbage. Get him out of here. Do this and do that. And he's like, yo, I'm just doing what Tom Thibodeau
Yeah.
asked me to do.
Has to
What am I
do,
supposed to
yeah.
do? Say, no, coach, I'm not going to go on the floor. It's not going to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Whatever.
So it's it kind of puts him in a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? It really does. But Steph, what do you think about this matchup here? Alec Burks, Cameron Payne.
I like Cameron Payne. He's a good backup and for spot duty, which is tonight. So I think he probably does win this back matchup. I think I just think Alec Burke is playing out of position, playing off of guys not shooting well. I just don't think this is to his strength. So I do think Cameron Payne wins this matchup.
Yeah, at least doing what he's. He may not do everything statistically.
Right.
In his last game against Portland, I think he had 5 points, 8 assists. But just running the basketball team, that's really all that he needs to do. And he doesn't have to try to beat Chris Paul. He just has to run the basketball team the best way that he can. You know what I mean? And I agree. I think that he's going to do his job better than Alec Burks is going to do his job, because I'm not sure Alec Burks knows what his job really is. Being out
I
there.
don't think
Right.
Tibbs knows that. What he has Alec Burks on the court for.
Yeah,
So.
you know what I mean? Yeah. Josh, I want to move on to Evan Fournier and Landry Shamet, but if you want to comment about Payne and Burks, then, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I'll do both just really quickly. So I totally agree. I think that Burks is playing out of position. Burks is a 2 or a 3, someone that's dynamic, needs the ball in his hands. But to put him at a point guard in sort of an off-ball role, I really just don't like that for Alec Burks. But what I will say, he is capable of playing better than what he's been playing lately, right? He is playing, whether he's out of position or not, he is capable of playing better. So we just need a better showing from Alec Burks. As far as Fournier and Shamet goes, it really just depends on if Fournier can knock his shots down. Like, he is also very streaky. He has his times where he's, knocking down shots and he can go for a 25 or a 30-point game. And then out the blue, he'll go for 3 or 5 points or something like that. So we just need the right Fournier to show up. And he's getting his opportunities, still getting his opportunities to knock down that corner 3 or to get that dribble handoff from Randall or from RJ or whatever to knock down that 3-point shot. He just hasn't been hitting it. So hopefully we can get the good Fournier today and he can be able to win this matchup. Shamet is just a shooter. Shamet's going to knock down 3-point shots. So if Shamet can get hot, I think Shamet can win this matchup. But I'm hoping and praying that Fournier is going to be the good Fournier and we can win this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, Shamet can light it up. He can really get hot and light things up. So you got to be on your rotations. You got to be on your P's and Q's to make sure he doesn't get off. He had 12 points and 3 rebounds against the Portland Trailblazers. And by the way, the Phoenix Suns beat the Portland Trailblazers 120-90. And that was without Chris Paul and Devin Booker in the last
most complete team in the NBA.
Isaiah.
It's a good team.
Evan Fournier and Shamet.
Yeah.
Hey,
man,
cough over Kev. You got to mute your mic.
You still coughing, Kev?
Yeah,
This has been a minute now.
It's been a minute, Kev.
9 months later.
It's
Steph, 9 months later. Like,
it's been 2 years since you've been coughing.
It just happened.
Get that checked
again.
out.
I guess we know we know where it started from.
Oh, shut up, Bubba.
Anyways, hey, Sim, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Anyways.
Now, Sim, watching the game, man, watching it live, it was just, he played bad on Wednesday. He was just, Evan Fournier, he was just playing bad. Just missing a lot of just easy shots. I mean, I think it was up until the third quarter. He had 1 point. But hopefully, he does this. I mean, this is the season so far. He's just been inconsistent, but hopefully he comes out with a good game. Again, just I wish. Again, I'd be very happy with Evan Fournier if he could just give us a cool 15 points, possibly 16 on cool efficiency, on good efficiency. I mean, again, he is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league, so I will give him that. But it's rough because sometimes he has games like what's funny, Sam? We could have just kept Alec Burks. if we wanted some inconsistency, I would have been that mad if we would just played him.
Bullock, you mean?
Oh yeah, Bullock.
Yeah, I'm like, we got Alec Burks.
Oh yeah, I mean, we could have kept Bullock.
Y'all talk about me? Y'all talk about me?
Well,
Really?
Cornerstone, Isaiah has an excuse. He has an excuse. A client came in. I think she slipped his number on the way out, and he looked down. He's seen the number. He's been stuttering ever since. So.
Oh no! So funny. So wait, hold on. That was good. No, actually, I'm not even joking. That was actually my boss. So I kind of had to make an excuse.
Oh yeah,
I was
there you go. Yeah, that's why.
Said, you know what the funny thing is? I said, this is my family. She looked at Andy. Said, oh, that's your family? I said, I said, oh, that's my cousin from Poland. No, but yeah. So I mean, with this matchup, I do believe that Fournier should win this matchup. Again, you are right. I forgot Shane. I thought Shane was still on Brooklyn Nets. I've been paying attention too much. But no, Shimmy could get really hot. This kid can he go from 12 points in one game to get to 30. It can't miss from 3.
Right.
So I think I'm talking about him playing defense. He ain't gonna play no defense. But if he can match, give us 17 points tonight, or start off good, I'd be happy with that. But I will say Fournier has the matchup advantage.
He should. We'll see. Cornerstone, I'm coming to you, man. I'm coming to you. But we're going to talk about RJ Barrett and Mikal Bridges because this could be. I have a different matchup that I'm watching tonight. So I have a different matchup that I think is the matchup of the night. I don't want to say Ayton and Mitch. Right? I don't want to say the matchup of the night, but one that I'm really paying attention to, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But RJ Barrett and Mikal Bridges is probably the key to the game tonight. Right? That's a big matchup.
Yeah,
Talk to me about it, okay?
And I'm really if there's anything that I'm really looking forward to, I'm looking forward to this matchup. I think I'm going to give the edge to RJ on this one. I think his versatility, I think him taking it to the to the basket and some of his he's improving on his jump shots and the beyond below the 3-point line. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of RJ. And that's not to say that Mikal is no scrub because he's I love his game too. But I think RJ will have the this particular matchup. I think RJ will have the advantage. I like them both. I really do. I think we made him. Well, I'm not going to get into that, but I like Mikal Bridges' game, but I'm liking RJ's more.
Yeah, so. Mikal Bridges, he's averaging 13.4 points per game, shooting 53% from the field and 36% from the 3-point line. Obviously, he's a defensive guy.
I didn't want to say it. I did not want to say it. Did not. But you're absolutely right.
I mean, it's old news by now.
Yeah, it's old news now. Yeah, but he's making it shine. But what's bugged out with him is that how he was drafted by Philly and then he was traded to Phoenix. So that's another team. I don't
think the Sixers care right now.
No, I don't think so either. I think you're right.
Yeah. I think RJ's been playing tremendous basketball. It's basically, it's transitioned to being his basketball team and him being the focal point of the team. You know what I mean? And I think he's doing well in that role right now. And he's playing at a very high confidence level. And I'm just looking forward to seeing these last 20 games and watching him continue to flourish and watching him continue to grow into the leader that the Knicks want and need out there. You know what I mean? Because he's definitely doing it. He's averaging 19 points a game on the season, almost 6 rebounds, almost 3 assists. I'd like to see those assist numbers come up, but it is what it is. He just may not be that guy for his career. I don't know. You know what I mean? But what he's doing right now, and what he's been doing over the last 3 months really has been beautiful to see. And he's coming into his own as, there was always this thing, the Knicks got RJ, not Zion, not Ja, but now it's, he's putting himself right there. Zion Williamson hasn't played in has barely played throughout his career.
He didn't play this year.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
so he's leapfrog. He might be leapfrogging Zion. You know what I mean? Because he's here and he can play.
And Simca, we call
Let me ask
Kev.
you what- Yeah, go ahead.
Don't ask any more questions, please.
What you saying?
This isn't talking corner. This isn't talking cornerstone. It's MZK. But I will say this though, Sim. I was very watching the game, Sim. I was very proud of him watching the game because I'm watching RJ match up, going back and forth with James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching it. I'm watching it live, watching him going back and forth against James Harden, and he's matching him. And to be honest with you, Sim, for the most part, he was playing good defense on him. He was playing good defense on James Harden. And then to be going against Matisse Thybulle, one of the best young defenders in the league, all NBA caliber defender, and still getting his shots up, going against Joel Embiid, doing it. I was watching the game and I was just smiling from ear to ear. He's coming through the screen and just pick and pop against Joel Embiid. He's doing those things, and we're finally seeing. And again, we all talked about it that to me it was always funny that before the Knicks, we found out the Knicks had a third pick. It was a 3-person draft. It was RJ, Ja, and Zion. When the Knicks got the third pick and it was RJ, it turned into a two-man draft. Which
It did.
It's all good. It's all good. They constantly disrespect them, but no, man. To me personally, and I know there's gonna be some bias, but to me, him and Ja right now are the top of that draft. To me. And you could put Tyler Hero there if you want. I know some people will. I think Tyler Hero has a certain role that he's doing right now. But to
Garland. Don't forget about Garland.
Oh no, yeah, Garland too. I'm gonna put Garland next to with RJ.
Jordan Poole. Keep going. I'm sorry. My bad. Go ahead.
To me, he's a tear down. But Jordan Poole's a great complimentary player. But I will say that to me, Ja, Garland, and RJ are the top of the class right now. These guys are just showing what it is. I wholeheartedly believe in my soul that next year RJ will be an all-star next year. That's, to me, I'm already saying that now. That's my minimum. That's my bare minimum for him next year.
Right.
For him to be an all-star. But it's just beautiful to watch, and I'm proud of him. And again, like I said, I was so excited to see him go against James and just go, and he's just matching everything. He's matching everything that he's doing. Like I said, he had the 7 assists, he had the rebound, and he had the scoring. He scored on all three levels. You can't ask for any more from what he's doing right now, And I will say this about Josh, even though we all call Josh the biggest RJ hater. This is what Josh has been wanting from RJ, and he's finally producing it. So again, you can't ask for any more from RJ.
Yeah,
You can't.
Listen, RJ.
And by the way, Sim, I forgot one more thing. There was a stat with RJ that he is defensive rating is I may be wrong, but it's up there with near Giannis.
Okay.
And the freshman rating.
RJ Barrett in the last 15 games, and actually, for him, I guess it's 11 because he had some time out, but 25 points per game, 42.4% from the field, 36.5% from the 3-point line, 3.5 assists per game. That's his last 11 games. In his last 5 games, right? In his last 5 games, he's been, his shot attempts, 25 attempts, 19, 22, 22, 23. Right? His points, 23, 18, 46, 24, 30. Right? He's definitely, he's hooping, man. You got to give it up to him. He's hooping.
Sam, you had said something. You said that it's turning into RJ's team. Do you truly believe that? Because there are a lot of people that still say that it's Randall's team.
Right now, I believe it's turning into. It's still in the act.
Process.
Still a process. It's still in the act, but it's going in that direction fast.
You can see it and you can feel it. You can see it.
Yeah, it's going in that direction pretty fast. Andy, your thoughts on that matchup right there?
Sim, Bridges is one of the guys that I wanted. I think really that I'm not sure that RJ is more versatile than Bridges, because Bridges is a pretty good player overall. Player, maybe not that kind of star-studded that RJ is going to be, but as a complementary player on a team with two superstar players in CP3 and Devin Booker, I think he fits perfectly in that team. And it's hard to compare him because one is playing with a really good, probably even championship team, and one is playing on the Knicks. so listen, it's hard to compare them like that, because probably if RJ was on the Phoenix Suns and Bridges was here, the roles might be different. So who would I choose? I think RJ is going to be having a better game because the Knicks need and expect more out of him than the Suns expect from Bridges. Even without those two guys, I think the Phoenix Suns are, like Josh mentioned already a couple of times, more better as an overall team. And I think they're gonna spread out the points and every stat basically on the board through the whole team more than the Knicks can afford to do that with our team, right? So I think RJ is gonna be one of the solo night rider tonight, and Bridges is going to be a great team player for the Suns.
Yeah. Okay. Steph, Julius Randle, Jay Crowder, and if you want to go back and talk about RJ Barrett and Cal Bridges, feel free. But that matchup there.
Yeah, real quick on RJ. I think RJ wins this matchup. I don't even think it's close. We could talk about the Philly game, but don't forget the Miami game, where they have very good individual defenders and they also schematically defend well. And I think was that the game he had 40, 46?
Yeah, 46 on the Friday.
On Miami. So RJ is legit. I think he wins that matchup. I think Randall can win this matchup. It just depends on which Randall shows up. The efficient, aggressive Randall or the tunnel vision Randall. So if Randall, that showed up on the West Coast, shows up, he's going to win this hands down.
And see, guys like Jay Crowder, I hate these type of matchups with Julius Randle, right? Because they're smaller than him, so they can get up underneath him, but they're also strong. So it's difficult for Randle to really post him up and take advantage, of his ability to score over top of him down low. So it resorts to Julius Randle pulling a ton of mid-range shots, and playing out on the perimeter. So I don't like these defensive matchups or guys like this defending Julius Randle. I think it's a tough matchup for him, And then, of course, Jay Crowder is one of those guys that can get under your skin too. You know what I mean? We'll see if it turns out like that tonight.
Yeah, and Jay Crowder stretches the floor with Julius is really bad at, running down the corners, and he can make those threes.
Yeah.
Not to mention that he's, having beef with Tibbs the last several years. So.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This is almost like another PJ Tucker type of matchup.
Yeah, and exactly the closest to PJ Tucker that we can get.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you too, Sam. I do agree with you. I hate when Julius Randle had these guys because another thing with him, he gets lazy and doesn't respect them offensively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He has a big tendency to, this isn't Giannis, or this isn't one of the premier power forwards in the league, or the guy he has to guard. And it gets frustrating because it's the same thing. And I'm bringing this up that Melo used to do too. Like Melo would get up to play defensively against LeBron, D Wade and all those guys. But then when it comes to no disrespect, it's just like a no name, like the Jay Crowders or the PJ Tuckers. And then next thing you know, PJ Tucker had 20 points in the first quarter, or two and a half quarters. So that's again another thing with Julius Randle is that you have to get up for your matchup, man. You can't just, because I get tired of him. Just don't fight over the screens, and then he does that fake run. He does the fake run, put his hand up, and his shot's already done. So it's those are the things that's gonna be frustrating now, because again, Jay Crowder, I think he's pretty. If I'm not mistaken, he's pretty good at shooting the corner threes. So you can't can't have him open in the corner threes, man. Then you run it over there, or you're trying to do oversells. Because I won't lie, like the Philadelphia game, he played good for the most part. It really wasn't his. It wasn't him or Randall, him and RJ's fault, but it was mostly everybody else. But yeah, Randall just can't fall asleep tonight defensively because again, Jay Carter can have one of those nights where again they don't have any star player. Is Aiden playing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, they don't really. I mean, okay, they have Aiden, but they're going to play more like a team. So again, they're going to pass the ball, they're going to move the ball because they can't just beat us individually. They should not. Let me say they should not beat us individually, probably besides Aiden, but we're going to talk about that in the next matchup. But they should not beat us individually, but they're going to play team basketball.
Yeah.
So
the only thing I say to that is stop throwing shade on my man Melo. Josh.
I'm not lying, though. I'm not lying.
Stop.
The only thing missing is Gilmore.
No reason to bring up Melo right now. No reason to bring up Melo. Let Melo be Melo. It's my man.
I'll let Melo be. I like that little double entendre. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you know how I feel when everyone talks about me with Ntilikina. All right. That's the same thing.
Not even.
It's the same thing. Exactly.
Did you just compare Carmelo Anthony to Frank Ntilikina?
Oh.
No, Sid, hold on, Sid. You talking about me being disrespectful? This dude just compared Frank Ntilikina.
Every time someone says Ntilikina, they associate my name with it. So when you mention Melo, you associate Sims with it. So there you go. And even Sims brought it up for it.
I'm fine with that. Associate my name with Melo. I'm cool with it. Go ahead, Josh.
Randall in the next matchup against Randall.
Well, you know what? Isaiah took up all the Randall time, so let's go ahead with Mitchell Robinson and DeAndre Ayton. Let's talk about that matchup right there, because to me, I look at this as being a big matchup tonight. So that's why I have this as one of my matchup for the night, and I think it's big for Mitchell Robinson. That's why I think it's a big matchup. You know, Mitchell Robinson on the season, he's averaging 8.3 points a game, 8.6 rebounds. Really, that's 1.6 blocks, not 1.6 assists per game, 1.6 blocks per game. Shooting 76% from the field, only 50% from the free throw line. DeAndre Ayton, 16.5 points per game, 10 rebounds, 1.4 assists. That's truly 1.4 assists for DeAndre Ayton. He's shooting 64% from the field and 36% from the three-point line, 71.7% from the free throw line. This is my Thrive Fantasy matchup of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Go to thrivefantasy.com, use the code NBK, and get a 100% match of your first deposit up to $100. Just use the code NBK. And the reason why this is a big matchup for me, well, I think it's a big matchup for Mitchell Robinson, is because I think right here, this is where Mitchell Robinson can earn a contract. Right? Because, you know, we always talk about the Joel Embiids and guys like that. But here's a guy who's a little bit closer to his, I don't want to say age range, I guess, but
They got drafted in the same year, Sam.
yeah, there you go. You know what I'm saying? They got drafted in the same year. You know, they're
I think
there.
they are the same age.
Huh?
I think they are the same age.
Yeah, they're probably the same age. Right, but they got drafted in the same year.
Though.
This is where Mitchell Robinson can say, see, in years to come, I can play with DeAndre Ayton. This is why you pay me now. You know what I mean? So I think games against guys like this are big for Mitchell Robinson, and I think this is another big one tonight. Josh?
Sam, absolutely. That was the point that I was actually going to mention in regards to the contract. Both these guys drafted in the same year. They're both due to get paid this offseason. And I wholeheartedly believe that Mitchell Robinson and his agent is looking at DeAndre Ayton and having Ayton set the market to try to gauge where Mitchell Robinson's going to get paid in the offseason. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson is not the same caliber of player as DeAndre Ayton. But because these two other two premier centers that are going to be on the market this offseason, I think it's a huge matchup for Mitch. And he has to show that he is, go back to that guy that's grabbing 10, 12, 15 rebounds a game and get some blocks and stuff like that to show what his worth is. Obviously, it's going to be over totality of games. That's going to determine how Mitch is going to get paid. But this is a big matchup for Mitchell Robinson tonight. And it's going to be a tough one. Ayton is no slouch. Ayton is a better player than Mitch. But Mitch has to be able to defend and also try to get some points on the board. So I do agree this is definitely the key matchup of the night.
Yeah. Andy, go ahead.
Yeah, just to add a little bit, oil to the fire. I really think, and I bet you guys that me and Josh are going to do a Fanspo episode about this.
You know it.
I can see a scenario where we basically maybe with adding a third team, but we could swap these centers in the offseason.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
I would do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I would do it too, but
If that's on the table, I'm doing it.
Why would Phoenix do that?
because they don't
Why would
want
Phoenix
him.
do that?
They don't want to give him the max. He's looking
Because
for the max.
He might leave anyway, Kev.
And he might leave anyway. So listen, if they're keeping CP3 and D-Book, I really think that they can get 16 points and the rebounds and even more defensive, presence from Mitch than they get from Aiton. And meanwhile, the Knicks would get more offensive, polished guy, probably higher ceiling and stuff like that. But really, the 16 points with a point guard like CP3, I think even if he gets like 12 points. But if the contract difference is a couple of $1 million, I think Phoenix might go on that and add a couple of picks for that, or a third team and try to mix it up, shake it up. I really see that happening.
I mean, listen, I'm doing it all day long. If that's on the table, I'm doing it. I'm going and getting DeAndre Ayton. I mean, he gives you. We talked about a couple of weeks ago. The Knicks need a center that's kind of a unicorn type, right? I don't know if he's exactly that, but he can shoot it from three, obviously.
Right.
He can score in the post. He can rebound the ball. He would be perfect. If you're going to keep Julius Randle, he'd be perfect to fit next to him, I think.
Absolutely.
I totally disagree. What's my name? What is my name? Cornerstone, right?
You got a lot of
It's a
names.
Mitch, one of our cornerstones.
Right,
I'm just
right,
kidding.
right.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding. I'm totally with y'all with that. I would do it. I was just trying to find out why would Phoenix want to let a young core like Aiton go and everything. And after hearing what y'all said, I would do it too. I would do it.
And Phoenix, and it wouldn't just be a 1-for-1 swap. Obviously, the Knicks have some assets they can be able to throw to the table. Probably get a third team involved, try to make the money work. But I definitely think it's something that,
Mitch. Yeah.
Signing trade.
I think it'd be perfect. It would almost be perfect on both sides because again, you have a young player in Mitch who I think probably I won't say, it probably does fit what they need more because they have the offensive between Chris Paul, Mikal, and of course Devin Booker. And again, they don't want to pay Ayton. Ayton is looking for the max. Mitch is probably looking for something more suitable around the price range that the Suns are more Phoenix wants. And also, by the way, their owner is incredibly cheap. It is notorious how cheap he is. It's actually very notorious. I think it'd be perfect, man. Him and RJ in that pick and pop game. I mean, you want to talk about a discount James Harden and Joel Embiid? There you go. You might be having something. You might be working with something there with those two. I would love that.
But then are the Knicks giving him the max? And what's his max?
So someone in the chat said 4 years, 220. I don't think. Well, it probably is that much. But that's a lot. I don't trust those numbers. I would have to.
4 years.
I think
that's
it's
not
5 years to 20.
That's not possible. He can't get 4 years, 220.
4 years. But that would be like 55 million.
His name is not Michael Jordan.
Yeah, that'd be like $55 million. Well,
Yeah,
that would be, I guess that's the max. That doesn't mean you have to get
Like
the
the
max. I don't know if that is
supermax,
the max.
Right. No, that makes sense. So 5 years, 220. That's what we're looking at.
5
40,
years, 220, something around there.
40
I don't think he's not worth that. I would if I'm the Knicks.
Isaiah, but nobody said that we have to give him that. He might ask for that, but we can give him like maybe 36 and a half or whatever, and maybe there's not going to be the market for a big guy like that.
I'd probably, if I was the Knicks, 160, 180.
So wait, hold on. So Phoenix, I think Phoenix is the only team that can offer him that 5th year.
Yeah.
5th year.
So
Yeah,
because he's with them.
Oh,
So
so
it'd be
then-
like 4 years, probably 170, something like that.
Yeah, 160, even 155,
160,
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
something
Yeah,
like that.
I would probably do 4 for 160. I'd do 4 for 160 for Aiden.
I mean, you talk
if you
about
could
planting
bounce-
your flag. If you give him that money, you're planting your flag with him, Julius Randle. Got to give RJ Barrett some money. RJ Barrett. I mean, you're basically
Cam.
saying
And Cam, yes.
Yeah.
you could
Yes.
move Julius. You can if you get Aiton under the hoop, you can move Julius from there.
Yeah.
okay.
You could move him.
Okay.
If you really think about it,
Well,
and
maybe he
then you
ends up
just
going to
go.
Phoenix
You
then. Maybe he ends up going to Phoenix and they have Julius Randle instead of Jay Crowder.
Yeah, maybe. And then
The salary
you
cap
switch.
is also going up. So people tripping about $35, $40 million a year.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
soon,
not
next
gonna be-
couple seasons, it won't even matter.
That's
it's going to be the 25. Yeah.
I mean, Andy, you say that, and that might be actually good for both parties. I think Randall possibly, you know, we don't know how he's feeling. Maybe he doesn't want to be here anymore. He's looking for Ayton to get paid.
But
I think if the Knicks wanted to move in a different direction, if they want to really focus on, if you're really serious about bidding on RJ Barrett and these guys, and you feel like, I think this might be a good opportunity if you go through that route. If you think that's the best route.
Isaiah, I don't know why you're trying to, you know, praise me. You know, I always say smart stuff, so I don't know what you're pointing at now, man. I didn't throw out, you know, Alfred Payton for Julius Randle, man.
Andy, I think I give you some compliments because I'm glad you're good, man. I think that's what it is. I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that you know got your hard hat on and you got your guns busting right now. So it's all good, man.
yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But that's my matchup of the night. Anybody else want to comment on this matchup? You know, and what you expect from Mitch versus Ayton?
Yeah,
Sam.
Go ahead, Steph.
No.
Ladies first.
Sam, I go up and down on this roller coaster with Mitch, and right now it's down. So let's see. I'm not very hopeful that Mitch is gonna hang with Ayton. We will see.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I've seen the script too many times with Mitch and Ayton. Ayton's always seems like he's always getting the best of him. I don't see nothing changing.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is the time for Mitch to prove what he's worth, you know. So we'll see how this matchup goes. Looking at the comparison between the two teams, the last time they played, previous game, actually that's the wrong slide. So I'll come back to that. I'll talk about my keys to the game. I really got the same keys to the game as the previous game. Hold the lead. I mean, the Knicks got a lead versus Philadelphia, and they blew it. They were up by 14 in the first half. They blew it. You know, you know what's new. And you know what? Honestly, I'm expecting the Knicks to take a lead tonight. I really am. I think the Knicks are going to come out at some point during the game, have a lead. I don't know if it's going to be double digits, but have a lead and probably lose it. I think we're going to see the same story. Stay out of foul trouble. You know, you're probably pointing right to Mitch when we say stay out of foul trouble against DeAndre Ayton, right? The Knicks are going to need him out there on the floor. Defensive rotations, you know, with guys, with shooters all over the floor. Jay Crowder, Shamet, Mikal Bridges,
Cam
DeAndre
Johnson.
Ayton.
Don't forget about him. Cam Johnson is a beast.
Like these guys can shoot.
I ain't forget about him. Absolutely.
And if your rotations aren't on point, you're gonna be in trouble, right? So the Knicks' defensive rotations got to be on point. They got to communicate. They got to finish that defense with a rebound. And then, if they do have a lead, or if they are in the game down the stretch, they got to execute. Execute. You know what I mean? The Knicks have been terrible all season long at executing down the stretch. I don't expect much different tonight, but that's what they would have to do. Any thoughts on these keys to the game?
Sam, what I would add is that our best guys have to show up. So we know at this point, RJ is going to show up, but Randall has to show up and Fournier has to show up. It's hard to win games when your best players don't show up.
Who are your question marks?
And we need all three of them.
Yeah, who are your question marks?
What do you mean? Everybody's a question mark to me behind
Except for RJ.
Except for RJ.
Yeah, except for RJ. Yep.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah, everybody.
Now you guys jinked RJ for the day.
Right. Well,
Yeah, I mean,
he's due for one.
Has anybody been impressed with the little sample size you've seen out of Jericho Sims?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I mean, I think he's okay. I'm not like, oh my God, this guy's gonna be this, that, and the third.
Right.
He's okay. You know, I'm not. I'm not clamoring that. You know, he needs to be our starting center because he's gonna do this, that, and the third.
No,
I'm not looking at
He's
him
okay
like
for
that.
spot
He's
minutes,
okay.
Kev. We ain't gonna start him. Don't even go there. This show, man.
What I'm asking towards the future, could you see him being the backup? That's what I'm asking.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
I'm not saying a starter or anything. I'm saying a backup.
I guess.
Backup.
You know,
Yeah, I mean,
Netherlands
I
against
think,
I
Belgium.
guess,
I
but
think Kev, you got,
I mean,
Kev,
you
you
saw
got,
it
but my
you saw
thing
it
is,
firsthand,
my
Isaiah.
thing
You
is,
saw it
my thing
firsthand.
is, look. I still believe that Mitchell Robinson has way more upside than Jericho Sims. Way more
Right.
upside. That's just my opinion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We were talking about the other day. Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims are the same exact age. They're both 23 years old, right? Jericho Sims has been through 4 years of college, has all this coaching, this, that, and the third, and he's still a project. Mitchell Robinson has had no college coaching, barely any high school coaching. You know what I'm saying? And he still has more upside than Jericho Sims in the NBA, in my opinion. That tells you
yeah.
what you need to know about Jericho
And
Sims,
I was
in my
going to
opinion.
say, Kev, I think one thing you got also too, you gotta. I mean, it's in a nice way. Like you can't fall in love with every play on the Knicks.
I'm not.
Against, no, but
First
every.
of all,
I mean,
I'm not falling in love with every player.
look at you.
All I
You
was-
Google. You
I was
Googly
asking-
eyes.
I was
All the
asking
young
a
guys.
question. I was asking a
Kev,
question.
you was like, Kev,
What
you was like, Kev, you said, hey, you know, the Jericho Sim, them Jericho Sim guys.
Well, I'm asking. You were there at the game. What did you think of it?
No, he's the backup bigs.
Okay, that's all you needed to say. That's all you
Yo,
needed
don't
to say.
yo. I mean,
That's all
yo,
you needed to say. That's
yeah,
all I
he's a
needed to hear.
backup big.
That's all
He's
I
not.
needed to hear.
Listen,
That's all I needed to hear.
I hate the word that diamond doesn't, but you can, no disrespect. I hope he gets it back one day. I hope he gets his chicken. But you find the Jericho Sims in the draft every year, literally every year. There's always an athletic rim running big man that you can find in the second round or undrafted. So
He was a wasted pick then.
no, oh my God, Kev,
You're
Jesus.
always looking
I'm
for people to
asking.
fill out your rotation. It doesn't mean
Right.
he was a wasted pick, but I mean, I hate to put a ceiling on guys. You never know what they could be, but I'm not putting my money on Sims becoming more than
He's a backup, Kev. He's Kev. What he did against Philly is what you want him to do for his career.
Move on, Sam. I'm sorry.
And
Move on.
Embiid, I mean,
Move on.
he's Embiid. He still had 36 points and 598
So what?
rebounds.
Right.
76 free throws.
Right.
Andy, the funny thing is he almost fouled out again. So
Yeah, you know, I mean, listen, he's going to be good for spot minutes. You know, the Knicks.
Kev, every player is
Can
not
do
going
it.
to average 30
Right.
points.
And I'm
make
not
an all-star.
asking them to either. I was just asking your opinion.
Kev,
What did you
Kev,
think of
Kev,
him?
think
going
about this,
forward?
Kev. Think about this, Kev. We've drafted RJ Barrett, and he's possibly an all-star, and he was the third overall pick. So there you go. That's the NBA.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the thought on Jericho Sims, Kev. That's the thought.
Hey, Kev, Sam, you know the people that be hating in your comments. We all know the burner account now. You know, anytime,
I never.
the people that be making
You
the
know that
comments.
ain't me.
You know it's we know
I barely
it is
get
now.
on. I barely get on. So there you
Yo,
go.
so Sam, once this episode is gonna be, the pair of delusional Jericho Sims, he gonna average 26 and 6. Yo, Sim, you check the IP address. It's Kev Wi-Fi.
It's Kev. Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to head up out of
man.
here. Tonight, 10 o'clock is the game. I will be on after the game, but it's going to be really, really late. We know that. You know, probably 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Any last words before we get out of here? Any predictions for tonight? Andy?
Listen, Sam, the game is going to be so late. The post game is going to start probably when I wake up. So,
Right.
listen, that's one thing. And from prediction standpoint, I am really going to bet on the Knicks each and every game from now on, because I really think that the win is really, sooner rather than later, right? So they got to win, at least once now in the next couple of games. And I really think that, and I'm not the first one to say it, that teams really play different on road trips, since we got a 7-game road trip. Maybe the last game is basically at home because it's versus Nets, so it's going to be in New York. But even a 6-game road trip, they're flying west. I think that might cause the Knicks to get a W. Let's say it that way.
Okay. Steph?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Knicks can win. It's just whether or not they will. And I just think right now we're just not playing well. somebody said Burks is an automatic L, but listen, we don't have problems starting the game. We have problems finishing. So I think that's more of an issue than Burks starting.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. We have problems finishing. Yeah. Josh.
So I'm going to change my tune a little bit. I know I said I think Phoenix wins this game no matter what, but I'm going to say the Knicks pull this one out. I'm going to be that guy.
Wow.
All right? I'm going to be that guy. And I think the Knicks...
We screwed then.
I think the Knicks are going to win this game by a possession. I think the Knicks are going to have a lead. Phoenix is going to try to make a late comeback, but because they don't have Booker, I think the Knicks are going to be able to hold them off. So I'm going to say, come down to the last possession, Knicks win by 2 points, something like that.
If the Knicks win, I will stay up and come on the post game. You know how.
All right.
The Knicks win.
Isaiah.
Hey, listen, Simbi, the only one here, because that's Sim Element right there. So Simbi waiting for them 1 o'clock games, man. The 10 o'clock games, man. Look, no, but look, I'm oh Lord, we're gonna get blown out tonight because I think the Knicks are gonna lead pretty much the whole game. I think they're gonna come out slow in the third quarter like they usually do. Then it's gonna be a tight game. Then I think the Knicks are gonna pull away. I think RJ Barrett's gonna continue his success. Again, right now, I don't think there's a defender. I believe right now where he's at in his mindset, there's not a defender in the league that can guard him, and he's playing like it. So he's going to continue that success. It's going to be tough, though, against Mikal Bridges. Again, Mikal Bridges is one of the premier defenders, long arms, and, they got also him and Jay Crowder, so they might switch on him. And also, teams are focusing more on RJ. Like I said, I seen during the Philadelphia game, they were double teaming him.
Yeah,
but I do trust RJ with the ball in his hands. I would like to see him actually have the ball in his hands a little bit more because there to me was some possessions when I was watching the game. There were some possessions that I thought he was the best suited point guard on the floor to initiate the offense. So I'd like to see the ball more in his hands. Again, it's not fair for Alex Burks, and I do feel bad for him because a lot of fans are pissed off at him, but it is some of it is his fault, but it's mostly not his fault because again I think he's out of position. So. Yeah, I do believe the Knicks are going to win. I might. I won't agree with y'all with this. I don't think it's going to be a 1 possession game. I think the Knicks are going to win 111-106.
Okay, all right. And Kev, really quick, your prediction for tonight.
There used to be a R&B group called Shalimar back in the 80s, and they had a song called "Take That to the Bank." We're going to lose by double digits. You can take that to the bank, and I'm out.
And he's
back when Kev had them Jerry curls.
I can see Kev with a no. I can really see Kev with a Jerry curl.
He's on the buddy with that.
This is MBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is MBK, nothing but Knicks.